Hello, Hofman, Tropical Montana, Montana Skywatchers. How you doing today? It's Samuel Hofman. Today is the 31st of December, 2017, last day of the year. Happy New Year, all you guys out there, all you members worldwide. I figured I'd give you a quick heads up on what's been going on lately because I hadn't done a film recently. So I figured I'd talk about the transition of Attu, Attu's moon, and now the follow-up of Nepesity. Nepesity was on the other side of her, on the left-hand side of the sun, but during her trek now she comes in the left and everything's transitioning really fast. So and then she ends up in a follow-up behind Attu and Attu's moon. Now there have been a lot of sightings lately of discharging between Attu and planet Earth. There's been ion bleed offs between the planets going on in the skies. There's been some rockets shooting off the coast of California. Not sure if they're attempting to cover up the ion bleed offs at night in the planets, but that is basically what's going on. We're seeing a lot of that evidence. There's been a lot of evidence of some other little visitors hanging out along with Attu's moon, of the round kind and the kind of square kind over here. Now we've seen numerous sightings. I mean, we're talking literally 95% of the daily reports that have been coming in. These things have been sitting here in the cloud group of the incoming Attu's moon, which has been transitioning in front of the sun. Now, there's been some shadowing in some areas. There's been illumination of Attu's moon up in the upper side as well. And that's been going on for over a month, month and a half now. A lot of reports are coming in on that. What's been going on is Attu's moon has been getting in front of the sun, and when the sun goes down, the moon is still standing in this area where the illumination angle will still effectively light up Attu's moon, and it's been sighted on this side of the sun as the transition goes. Okay, now what I wanted to do and cover today was this transition of Attu's moon. Now in the last few months, literally since oh gosh, going back here, I'll just give you a real fast reference. Going back to September, Attu started coming in this direction and started just working its way and cutting off the light of the sun. And we've got numerous pictures of that angle of the light pinching and that went on in September and October and everything else. And those of you who are following my videos are on top of it, hopefully. Now, what has happened? When Attu started coming in that direction, she got closer and closer and closer and closer like this over time. And then all the other planets on the other side were doing this other stuff too. And I think what's been going on is the Earth has been rotating towards her and around her in that manner. Now, what has happened is Attu gets the closer Attu gets, the darker purple, blue, and everything else that's been going on. And Attu's moon has been coming in, and in a lot of places is cut off, and depending on where you're located, has gone in front of, and people are seeing the dark shadowing or even just the smoky white cloud that goes on around it. But in a lot of cases now in Japan and everything, and in the Orient and Malaysia, thank you, Matthew. You know who I'm talking about. They've been getting a lot of pictures of the moon, and then Attu has crossed over to this side, and they're getting pictures of Attu and the moon and stuff like this, doing this downward yank. Now there's also the OCG and everything is also going around generally around the bottom of Attu still. It's all coming in, always going around like this. And this is going this direction, and this is going this direction, and yet they all rotate together. Now I'm not fully sure how many of you saw, as I reach for papers here, saw all of the drawings that I've done, and I try to keep everybody informed as much as possible. Um, Here's the one I'm looking for. What's been going on for the longest time, for literally years since we've been watching Attu and Uri, is the object cluster group and everything rotates and orbits underneath Attu and Uri, which also orbits underneath Saru in a much larger planet, but that's another story for another time. Okay, now my question is we're doing this sort of thing along with that as well. And now that Uri has gone and moved over to the far side of everything over here, and Uri is being sighted rising up in the morning and then coming in and doing this a lot lately. So with the addition of Uri coming in on this side, there's a whole bunch of debris that normally flows around Uri as well. So we've literally got, lead object, which has also been sighted mega times in front of or near or in front of, depending on where you're located, lead object of the OCG, and then there's other ones coming in behind. And that's what's doing this illumination behind and under nepacity as it's cutting off this side. With the moment that the object cluster group, or sometimes when it comes under, that sunlight angle is illuminating the object cluster group, and all the debris in that is breaking down the light into a rainbow refraction. And that is why we're seeing the rainbow hue on this side. Now, on the other side of the sun, there's been some activity and sightings of Isatum and Isatum's yellow moon right next to the sun. That's still very predominant, and that's what's causing the red hueing and everything else. But and then also we will add at this point in time that Nibiru is huge and massive. And I should actually switch this because this is purple and Attu is actually purple. This is what we've been seeing going on. And Attu's moon has been coming in so bright and so heavy across. It's cutting off illumination. It is illuminated as it passes into the light angle sometimes as the sun goes down. We're seeing, and everybody's going, oh, it's the second moon, or it's the sun simulator, and all this stuff. It's Attu's moon. We're very, very sure we've had hundreds and hundreds of sightings. Anyway, I wanted to give you the heads up what's going on. I hope that was enough information. And if not, I want you guys to pay attention because we're going to have some really severe storms coming off the two of these together in close passes in tandem, one after the other. They're causing some really cool, unbelievably beautiful, scary, spooky storms, and some people are even getting the skull face in it and everything else. And thank you, Sharon Arbic, for all your shots, and everybody else that's doing all of the stuff. There are just too many of you to mention. But anyway, aloha from tropical Montana, Montana Skywatchers 1 and 2, Samuel Hofman. Happy New Year.